Abraham, I'm loving the fact that this global situation has released me from all work obligations while still providing a money flow, unemployment, enough to cover my needs. While my job has a lot of nice things, being able to stay home and have 100% choice about what I do all day is fantastic. I know I've been asking for this freedom for a long time. From this point, I do not want things to go back to the way they were, but my mind cannot comprehend how this is possible. What if everyone stayed at home like me? Nothing would get done. Sometimes I think I must be lazy and selfish and worthless to the world to want such freedom. Ringing any bells with you? We're just listening in to the things that you're thinking about. This may be our favorite question yet, because it is putting a focus on my desire to feel free and my belief that I have to do things that I don't want to do. But there's no consideration yet in this question for, is it possible that I could have it all? That I could focus upon something that is economic in nature? Could I work and exchange and receive money for the action that I'm offering and feel good at the same time? Because this question is coming from the point of view, while there was a little exception to that in there, but not much of one vibrationally. This question is coming from, I don't like doing this, but I need to do it for money. And so there's split energy all over the place in that, isn't there? Of course, you're feeling greater freedom when you're not pushing against that. But we know for sure that satisfaction comes from only one thing, and that is having an intention or a desire and then moving in the direction of it. And so you don't need to worry about there ever being a time when desires are not calling you forward. You don't ever need to worry about a time when people would rather just sit and do nothing. Sitting and doing nothing, or doing the things that are around you that you want to do. But sitting and doing nothing will get old after a little while, because in that experience, you won't be launching rockets of desire. That's actually a sort of shutting down of physical experience for you as an individual. When you let your environment stimulate you, and then you find a way to line up with the desire, then energy flows through you, and it is invigorating. It's invigorating, it's life-giving, it's uplifting, and it's replenishing. And so, as you are a physical being, wanting to remain in your physical body, you want to be inspired by the environment around you. We are not saying you have to go back to work. We are saying that whether you go back to work or not, you want to find things to focus upon that feel good when you focus upon it. So find a thought, one at a time, and line up with it. And you'll feel good all the time. That feel far-fetched to you today? That you could feel good all the time? There are those who have practiced feeling good, who are still maintaining their balance. And there are those who are accustomed to needing the environment to show them something good before they feel good. And so, and you undoubtedly are having some of all of those feelings within you. We just want you to know that your ability to focus is more emphasized and therefore more possible right now than it has ever been before. It's an interesting thing to feel and tune in to what's going on around your planet. There are those who are eager to work because they like what they do. And there are those who haven't liked what they were doing for a long time, and they're eager to have an excuse not to work. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there are those who then are at first happy that they have a job and then are upset that their job is still allowing them to work. I wish I wasn't in a necessary business. I wish I could be someone who was working for a business that had to be shut down so that, as this person said, I can do exactly what I want to do. Oh, the variety is really rampant around your planet of those who are trying to figure out. And so there again, it's what this asking is accomplishing within so many. It's giving you an opportunity to define who you really are and what you really want. Do you really not want to be a creator? Do you really not want to be solution oriented? Well, if you're standing in a place where you've not enjoyed what you've been doing for a long time, then you are probably shouting right now into your screen, yes, Abraham, that's what I want. I want everything to just shut down so that I can just be easy about things. And we say, a lot of you have been wanting that break for a while. And here's why. While there is an energy stream that is available to you, and while when you focus with that energy stream, you are enlivened, while being tuned in, tapped in, turned on, causes you in that moment to have access to the energy that creates worlds. And while, as we've said on so many occasions, when you are tuned in to your vibrational reality and in alignment with your own inner being, you are more powerful than millions who are not. While all of that is something that we've been talking to you about for a while, it does not mean that in any moment in time you can focus in a way where you don't feel that. But your propensity to think in that direction is still in place. And the well-being of your planet is still in place, even though temporarily, to a lot of you, it does not look like it is. The reason that we know that the well-being of your planet is still in place is because we see what's going on vibrationally and we know what that means. And so, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would acknowledge that there is a vibrational reality, and we would eagerly focus in the direction of that so that we could be one who in this moment and the next receives the benefit of this life-giving energy flowing through you. You really can't get it wrong. While you are, in some cases, sort of quibbling with each other about whether you should have to be at work or whether you want to be at work or whether anybody should be at work, it's understandable that from where you stand, you have your unique perspective. And we are not advocating anything. We are not in any way wanting to create your reality. You are the creator of your own reality. We're just suggesting that whatever decision that you are focused upon, do your best to focus upon it from your state of connection. In other words, that's what we mean when we say make a decision and line up with it. In other words, part of this question was lined up. I am loving the fact, while my job has a lot of nice things, when I have a choice about what I do all day, it's fantastic. That part of that question was lined up with who you are. But then the next part of the question wasn't lined up. Sometimes I think I must be lazy and selfish and worthless. That part's not lined up. In other words, and calling someone else lazy and worthless is not lined up. Being critical of any choice that anybody else makes is not lined up. Trying to sort out what everybody on the planet should be doing right now is not lined up. Pushing against anything is not lined up. And most of all, pushing against yourself is not lined up. So if you're having a happy moment because you're feeling a little more freedom, line up with that and keep it going for longer. If you are having an unhappy feeling because you are feeling confused or you are sort of twirling in circles, then do your best to chill a little bit. Be nicer to yourselves and be nicer to everybody around you too. What you're going to notice is that you're going to get through this. In other words, this is not a permanent situation. This is a new launching of desire situation. But what's going on right now with your isolation is not a permanent situation. Although we in many ways would like you to isolate yourself from the naysayers of your life experience. Not just the naysayers about the things that you are globally worried about now, but anyone who doesn't believe that you are worthy. Anyone who is critical of you for any reason. We'd like you to isolate yourself from those. We'd like you to move in the direction of who you really are and what you really want. So we like the idea of you slowing the momentum globally of this virus. And we like the idea of you slowing the momentum of your pushing against one another too. And we just want you to understand that you cannot be in a position where you have to isolate yourself in order to not focus on unwanted things. You want to get to the point that no matter what, you can find connection with who you are. And we've never seen a better opportunity for you to figure out how to do that. This is an individual opportunity for you to tune to the frequency of who you really are and not look for those outside of you to solve the problem. They will. It's always that way. There are always those who tune into the solution, and the problems are always solved. But have you ever wondered why, with the solution for this disease and this disease and this disease coming, why is there always another disease? Why is there always another pandemic? Why is there another epidemic? Why is that? It's because most people do not focus toward the solution. In fact, most people focus toward the pushing against this and the pushing against that. And so we don't think that it's difficult for any of you to figure out how 100% of your population plays into this pandemic. 100% of the thoughts that you think when you push against anything plays into that. It also, at the same time, plays into the magnificent vibrational reality that is the promise of your future, that is the eternalness that you've been asking for, that is the eternalness that is the promise of all of our existence. And so just find a way, find any way, in any moment, to soothe yourself as best you can. And the more you do that, the more you allow the momentum of the solution to call you, and the better you will feel, until you will find yourself following the softening of this. And prior to the next one kicking in, you'll find yourself more deliberately focused in your world and doing more what this teacher was asking about. How can I be of value? By being the lover that you are. How can I be of value to my students or to my lover or to anyone that I care about or even those strangers that I'm meeting? How can I be of value? By being one who predominantly loves and appreciates rather than one who predominantly worries. Don't ask the world to be worry-free. It's not ever going to be. We know a lot of you have a bone to pick with that. I would have liked to have just come from pure positive energy into this physical time and space, and I would have liked it to all have been all lined up for me so that when I got there I could just focus only on the beautiful things that are around, because there are only beautiful things around. And we say, then there would be no expansion of the vortex. Then there would be no asking. Then there would be no more calling of you toward your asking. And most of all, there would be no more satisfaction for you.